welcome to Transformers Versus. Today we are going to be comparing Cybershark from the transmetal Cybershark from the Beast Wars series and Generations Skybite, a modern rendition of the original RID cartoon Skybite. Well, let's start off by looking at Skybite's beast mode. And here's a nice looking cybernetic shark. You've got this lovely detail here picked out in silver. See, some of his panels don't quite sit together. But yeah, he is a beautiful figure. Paintwork, colours, amazing. A little bit, you can tell these are robot feet, but they do tuck in quite well. Mouth moves, literally shut or a little bit open. Doesn't go too big. Soon have him going, and a skybite. A shark flies ever alone through the sky. Yeah, as he can do his haikus and poetry. For gimmicks in his... let's click that missile in. Beast mode, his tail spins. Suppose that could be like jet propulsion if he's actually in the water. But yeah, it's not necessary. And he can fire a missile out of the end of his tail. But my main issue with this figure is he's forever doing a somersault. He just looks like he's spinning round and round, and yeah, he just doesn't really look that good on the ground, so you can't really display him. Sort of looks a bit more like Magikarp. Yeah, you just can't do much. Yeah, and these don't pose as well, and the panels pop off, so you can't really move the fins to support him, so they've got to stay in a certain orientation. So yeah, it's a good looking shark. If you have a stand, which I do not, and a lot of other people don't have access to, he could be a good display piece, but without that, he just flops around, looks like a dead fish. And B, he's just forever doing this somersault, which is really annoying, because you can't really have him flying straight with his tail down there, it just looks weird. Yeah, so I really like the colours and the shape of it, but you cannot get any good poses out of this alt mode unless you have a stand. And here we have Cybershark. He's got his nice... Oh, look at all the cybernetic detail on here. And the paint scheme. I like the fact he's got one normal eye. And one weird cybery eye. But here again, lots of detail. All over the body. Yeah, it's a bit more obvious what's going on the bottom of him. These are definitely legs, that's definitely an arm. Mouth doesn't move, so there's not any articulation. He's always stuck in this, so he's forever swimming in circles. But when you put him down, it just looks better. He sits up. This is how Skybite actually looked in the cartoon. He would sit on the floor, move his fins, "Oh, Autobots, I will destroy you!" Yeah, much better. Because it's a transmetal, it did have another form. You flip round these. And I think you meant to put these out as well as like an extra propeller. Though it's really hard to get your finger in there to make this spin in beast mode. But yeah, these are little jets. Because all transmetal 2s had sort of a pseudo third form, usually just some sort of boosters or wheels came out. But yeah, so he could fly. But yeah, the RID cartoon, just, yeah, Had him swimming through the sky. I will also say as a warning, this is actually a figure I played with as a kid, so it's a lot looser than you'd expect from a display model. But no. Yeah, this shark mode, much better. Looks like it does in the cartoon. If it was in skybite colours, this would be a much better representation of the figure. Much better. It looks good just sitting there. Now let's have a little comparison between the two. Yeah, as I say, I think the cybershark is actually a much better representation of skybite as it is. Look at the head moulds, it's just got that more ridiculous face to him. This, his nose looks a much more pointy down. Skybite's nose pointed up. I think this is just much better looking. You can see like the similar detail on them. Like this has got the cybernetic parts coming out of a shell highlighted much better. Like if this mould had this paint, this would be the best skybite you could possibly have. I know there is one that actually is skybite colours, because the Japanese do the really smart thing of picking a toy first and turning that into a cartoon character, rather than making an impossible cartoon character that can't possibly become a toy. Isn't that right? Black Arachnia, or Sky Arachnid. Oh, I wish they'd managed to make a decent toy of you. Yeah, but see, much better for the character. And boom, he's got his nose down, and he's coming at you. He's gonna bite your face off. And in between shots, I keep needing to squeeze this guy's panels together. Now, for size comparison, these two are Voyagers, so let's bring in another Voyager in Sandstorm. And you can see they're sort of more compact, but that's sort of, oh, come on, focus. They're like not as wide, but that's what you get with beasts. They're just not as blocky. Let's zoom this out a bit. No, it is zoomed out as far as it'll go. Yeah. See, the size is up quite well. Because beasts are usually like a bit more angular, and as you can see, there's always has to be panels with beasts. Or you can be a bit more blocky. Let's bring in a deluxe class. Here is Giaxus, one of my newly acquired figures, along with this guy. Yeah, you see they dwarf the mass of a deluxe. Let's also bring in some more deluxes, but X-Brawn, Sideburn, and who keeps dropping his missile because he's Lewis, Prowl. Yeah, these are their sort of general opponents in the show. See again that they're much bigger. I think Skybite was in the cartoon was actually quite big. He was, I think, taller than the general Autobots. Yeah, look, he's just going to eat that car. But these do make really nice compact cars. And just for one more RID comparison. Boom. Yep. Lord Megatron in his twin dragon mode. And yeah, he's a leader class. So yeah, I think these scale really well together. If anything, I think actually Megatron might need to be a little bit bigger. But yeah, I think side by side... Oh, sorry, this clip's a bit loose from childhood play. I wouldn't say that's a manufacturing issue. That's from just excessive use. I like Cybershark. Yeah, I think they look really good side by side. See, this is more like... Look, I've caught a dead fish! Look at the size of the fish I caught! Yeah. Not a fan of the shape. If they'd just made it any other shape, or they'd included some sort of stand, then I would accept it. Okay, let's bring in some other sharks. Again, this is a Beast War toy I used to play with as a child, so he's lost his fins. But yeah, it was a really nice hammerhead shark. He's a... Wow. He's a deluxe size, but he's not that much smaller than the Voyagers. But he's got a really simple transformation, but it's really good. And this whole back section is a weapon. So that gives him his distance, or his length even. And then here's the fat shark. Transformers Go. I can't pronounce his name. Purple Ninja Shark. And he's a Voyager, but yeah, he's a lot less. Let's take off that. Doesn't actually, okay, that doesn't really make much difference. But yeah, he's a shark with like missile pods under him. He's really more compact, but yeah, he's still quite a big, chunky figure. So like even his bentness is longer than him being a straight shark. If that was just straight, I'd be happier with this figure. Yeah, let's just see him next to other sharks. Almost forgot the Optimus comparison. And there they are against these two leaders. You can have a piggyback ride. But yeah. See how they stack up? They're pretty long. Comes up to Optimus's chin. See, they're roughly about the same length. And this one's just a bit more chunky, but that's because he's always got this open mouth as well. So yeah. Again, roughly they've got about the same width to them. I think Cybershark is a bit more depth. They actually fit together quite well. Yeah. That's them with Optimus and Optimus.
What you want, what you want. Come on. What you want, what you want. Come on. What you want. Come on. What you want.
And here we are with Skybite and Cybershark in robot modes. And let's start off with Skybite. Yeah, he's a nice looking figure. I feel his torso is a little bit long. Yeah, let's see if we can see that face. That nice toothy grin. No light piping, but this sort of head sculpt doesn't really allow it, so painted eyes is fine. But a nice amount of detail in there. Got the shark body is basically folded up into these panels and onto these arms. So yeah, you can pretty much tell this is a shark tail. And this is fairly clever how this arm, a little extra gun there, folded out of panels. And despite like the fact it doesn't really like lock in, it's actually a fairly solid arm. The only problem is, of course, can see right through it. And it gives me one of the most annoying things is weightlifter arms. You can't turn his arm, so you have to either have it so he doesn't bend his elbow. He can just do straight poses, or he's just always, come on, my plan will succeed. Got a posable thumb though. Pointy fingers. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not the most attractive looking arm, but it works. But yeah, these arms on a swivel, on hinges, not too bad. For the back, like the shark bits make really nice back segments here. This hinge bit's exposed, but that's fine. And then you've got the shark fins. Yeah, these are fins. Just chilling out at the back, and they make a fine sort of butterfly wing backpack. Quite like that look. Then you got these. There's like this very slight squeeze which just tucks up these legs a little bit. They look awful from the back, like this is just hollow. And the knees are alright, but this lock is not the strongest in the world. So sometimes you can end up popping that off, but for the most part I don't have that much issue with it. He's not throwing it around, it's fine, locks in. And they look good from the front, and that's basically the way you need to see your toys. Yeah, and see how the shark head incorporates into the chest. It doesn't mean his chest sticks out quite a way, and there's also like a weird upwards angle to it. And yeah, there's the Predacon symbol. Not bad, looks fairly like he does on the show. As for gimmicks, you've got the same spinny arm. Claw does move, but not really that effectively. And the missile does shoot. Next, let's look at cybershark. And here he is. You can actually see he's a maximal. It's weird, like, given he looks rather evil. Look at that head sculpt. I love that head sculpt. Look at that little smirk. See? That's a much more characterful head. You've got these jet boosters on the side, which I don't believe. I think these were removed from cybershark, skybite's sort of character model in the cartoon. Yeah, these are going to fall off because these are held on with clips, and this figure has been well played with, I'm afraid. It still doesn't look too bad. See, the chest is a faux shark chest. See the teeth in there, and the eyes match up to his eyes. But yeah, I think this looks much better. Like, it's just a normal chest shape. Like, skybite sticks out too much. Legs are fine, but knees don't. The knees are fine. They're actually double jointed because you can go on this hinge, but then you also have that hinge, nice and stiff still. Ball joints in the hip fine. Yeah, this arm ball joint is gone. Funnily enough, he has the same issue as skybite, where he's got the whole gorilla arm thing going on. But yeah, I think he looks really good, and he's a really solid figure. Now, he's got the shark head flopping off the back, but that's what actually skybite had in the cartoon. These back panels are a lot less successful. You've got this bit covered up, though. But because of the way his shark mode is, with this turn in it, these are a bit wonky, so I'd prefer to have a straight shark so you don't get this odd curve on the back panels. And maybe a bit of colouring on the inside of them. But yeah, nice robot mode. As for his gimmicks, he's got his giant claw. Now these don't really close or anything, they just open and go in. And you've got this little lever here. It might be just that it's old and stiff, because I'm pretty sure this actually used to spin quite fast when I was a kid. But yeah, it might just be the teeth. Let's see in there. So you can see it runs on the teeth. So where it's just been sitting and not used for ages, it's just not catching. Yeah, it's just not moving it at all. Well, when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure that this gimmick actually worked quite well, and that spun quite fast. Then he also comes with these shooting missiles. Just a separate little gun. They shoot really well, annoyingly well though, because it's hard to put them into beast mode without them coming out. And it's just a little block that shoots the missiles. There's something else he could do, which I used instead of the gun. I didn't really care for the gun as a kid. But his fins could come off, and they would make sort of a nasty looking pop. Pop. Yeah. A nasty looking melee weapon, which the new cybershark can't do, but the cartoon skybite didn't do it, so I don't see why. It's not really an issue, but I just quite liked it as a toy gimmick. And there they are together. You can see that skybite is actually considerably taller than cybershark, but Beast Wars were sort of a generally smaller scale. Let's put them next to Generations Deluxe G-Axis, and yeah, you can see it's a fairly tall Voyager class. Still towers over G-Axis, even though he's a shorter one for cybershark. Let's try another Generations Voyager class. Let's squeeze him in over here. And yeah, so, skybite is actually taller at the head. And he's actually quite a bulky figure, skybite, for like how many panels and stuff he's made from. And yeah, you can see he's pretty much head height with Sandstorm there. It's both fairly good sizes. Now let's compare him to their fellow Sharkin. I'm dropping Sandstorm off the side. And yeah, the Go figures are weird, but look at this chunky thing. Look at those legs. Yeah, there's a short Voyager, but he's definitely a stocky, chunky thing. And then Deluxe Class Cybershark, who is actually one of my favourites, even though he wasn't a character. See, look. Deluxe Class. Let's see a Generations. Actually, about same head height as Beast Wars Deluxe Class. But yeah, like I love this figure. Let's have a quick little look at him. Just look at that head sculpt. He was just a cool little dude. Now let's do RID. Well, we have Sideburn, who has, yeah, this was the era of just coming out of Beast Wars, so lots and lots of ball joints, especially on ankles, which can be an issue. But still, these figures are actually fairly solid. These weren't ones I had as a kid, ones I managed to find on eBay. But I think their size actually fits in quite well with, I think they actually fit in better with Cybershark than they do Skybite. Because that's sort of rough. He was bigger than them, but it wasn't like towering over the three brothers. But of course, let's bring in their Lord and Master. Sort of, I think he's the leader class, but yeah, Beast War leader classes weren't that big. I think it was classed as a leader, or maybe it was like a mega size. They didn't really have them sort of classed by size, I think, in RID, because it was a very strange line where they just found random toys, but this was a fantastic toy. I'll do a video on him at some point. Again, I think he actually scales better with Cybershark, who's just been beaten up, knocked over. Stand! Your master commands it. Yeah, you can see Megatron's taller. Let's see, you actually, head to head, almost. Megatron's just a tad taller. So yeah, he's actually a good size Voyager. Give him that. And Megatron could be bigger, but with engineering like 7 different modes into one robot, it's a good toy. I'll get back to him again at a later date. And just a quick comparison. Getting towered over by, what are their names? Revenge of the Fallen Optimus and the Masterpiece Optimus. As for their scale. And finally, let's have them together. Again, he's got a better nose, has Skybite, but Cybershark's just got a more characterful face. And yeah, the chest, I really don't like it coming out of the actual shark head. This is more how Skybite's chest looked in the cartoon, a fake chest. And like, it just sticks out a weird angle. Maybe I can adjust that down. No, not without forcing things. Yeah, so this is repainted. And these shoulders always get, I don't know how, but they always get knocked up. But yeah, you can see that they work. Again, I prefer this giant claw. I like overly sized weapons. And this panelly arm, I much prefer this moulded arm. Again, if they could fit in wrist articulation, that'd be really nice. But yeah, again, all these extra fins on here were like in the cartoon. Again, the legs, these panels that always pop out, and look at these legs. These are just much nicer moulded and more sturdy, not just empty plastic here. I do give him his backpack is better. So, which figure do I believe is best? I think Cybershark is. Honestly, I like Skybite, but I don't know why this exists. Frankly, I would have been much happier, Hasbro, if you'd spent the money you did on developing this guy, if you just figured out a better way to do this backpack. So, basically you give this Cybershark mould Skybite's backpack, given him wrist articulation, maybe figured out a way that these folded in a bit more so they just went flush with the side. But yeah, I wish you'd just spent half the money you did on this guy, just doing some slight changes here, and spent the time giving us another figure. Because yeah, I think this mould is still fairly good. I think it stands up today with standards, as I say. I think it's better than this brand new Generations mould. It does have its issues, but this is over 10 years old. Maybe even over 15, almost 20? I can't think. But yeah, this is really old mould, but it's still, let's say, is better than this Generations mould, which is really disappointing. I like Skybite as such a fun character. So yeah, if you agree with me, let me know in the description below or beside or wherever it happens to be. As I say, Cybershark is my winner. Who do you think's the better figure? And yeah, if they could have just re-released him in Skybite colours, I would have been more happy than I am with this individual figure. He's got an interesting transformation, but he's a bit too panelly and these legs are like nothing. So, leave me suggestions about what figures you want to see compared next, or just any other themes in general. As I say, this is quite a simple idea, but I do plan to do other sort of themes that are a bit more abstract. So, until next time, this is the Black White Soul. Like, subscribe, and until next time, TTFN.